Did you ever have that one moment that was so overwhelming it felt as if life itself was pulling a terrible prank on you? That is what befell Richard, a self-made millionaire who had all he ever desired decks for the one thing he could never buy back, his daughter. Richard had built his empire from the ground up. He was ruthless, cunning, and smart. But deep down beneath all that success, he had an open wound that would never heal. Some years back, he had lost his only daughter, Emily, in a horrific accident. Or at least he believed so. A car accident had left him shattered. Her body was never recovered by the police. But the accident scene did tell a story that convinced all she was dead and gone forever. For years, Richard was a shadow of his old self. He still wore his designer suits, still walked into boardrooms with confidence, still signed million-dollar contracts, but inside he was hollow. Every birthday, every holiday, every quiet night reminded him of the little girl who had once flung herself into his arms and cried, "Dad." It was a rainy morning when Richard stepped out of his limousine and entered one of his construction sites. It was not usual. He never socialized with workers. But there was something in the sound of rain pattering on steel beams that drew him in. He had to feel connected again, if only for a short time. As he walked along past the workers in hard hats and mud-caked boots, his gaze fixed on a single face. A young woman carrying a toolbox, her hair damp from the rain, her face frozen in a determined, gentle look. Richard's heart skipped a beat. She was the image of Emily. He blinked, rubbed his eyes, and looked once more. Same eyes, same smile. Even the way she tucked her hair behind her earret was the same. For a moment, Richard thought that he had lost his mind. His chest tightened, and the room spun around him. "Emily," he whispered to himself. The clerk glanced up, shocked by the intensity of the man in the designer suit's piercing stare. "Sir, may I help you?" she asked, her voice containing an unearthly familiarity that stabbed Richard's heart like a knife. Richard lurched ahead. "What is your name?" he asked, his voice unsteady. "Anna," she replied, confused by the stranger's fervor. Anna, not Emily. And yet everything in Richard rebelled at the possibility that this might be simple coincidence. Richard's life was never the same. He couldn't get her face, her voice, or her gestures out of his head. That night, he went home and browsed through old photographs of Emily. The resemblance was undeniable. Could fate be so cruel? Richard wondered. Or was it giving him another chance? The next day, Richard returned. He watched Anna working hard, carrying equipment, helping her colleagues, and never complaining. Despite her rough surroundings, she carried herself gracefully. And when she laughed at a joke made by one of the colleagues, Richard's eyes filled with tears, which the same laugh he had missed all those years. Driven by something he could not explain, Richard asked Anna to join him for coffee after her shift. She reluctantly agreed. Why would a millionaire want to sit and talk with an employee? But his sincerity got the better of her. At the coffee shop, Richard asked gently about her life. Anna revealed she'd been in foster care her whole life, bouncing from house to house, never knowing her real parents. She had no family history, no childhood pictures, nothing. Just fragments of memories she couldn't untangle. Richard's hands trembled as he raised his cup. Foster care. No family. No records. Could it be? He wished to test the waters. Do you? Ever have the feeling something in your life is missing? He asked softly. Anna's eyes became misty as she gazed downward. Every day, she admitted. Sometimes. I dream about this house by the ocean and a man in a suit who calls me his little girl. But when I wake up, it's only a dream. Richard's heart was shattered. Those had not been dreams. Those had been echoes of a life stolen from her. Still, he could not say it not yet. He needed proof. Over the next few weeks, Richard arranged for DNA tests to be conducted, secretly and without Anna's knowledge. When the results came back, his hands shook as he opened the envelope. The truth stared back at him, a 99.9% match. Anna was not just a look-alike. She was Emily, his daughter, alive. The accident all those years back hadn't killed her. She'd been thrown from the car, saved but unidentified, and lost in the system. A clerical error, a missed connection, and fate had torn them apart. Richard rushed to see her. Tears streamed down his face as he walked towards Anna on the construction site. This time, he didn't hold back. "Emily," he whispered, his voice breaking, She scowled, perplexed. Why do you keep saying that? Because that's your name, he muttered, retrieving the DNA test with shaking hands. You're my daughter, my Emily. I thought I'd lost you forever. Anna gazed at the documents, then at him. She gasped. Memories danced in her head, the beach house, the giggles, the warmth. Tears welled in her eyes. Dead, she whispered. Richard fell to the ground, holding her as if he would never let her go again. The workers around them halted, frozen in stunned silence as a millionaire dropped to his knees and sobbed in his daughter's arms. From that day forward, Richard did not dwell on deals or boardrooms. His empire was nothing compared to the miracle he had been given. He devoted every waking moment to rebuilding the relationship with his daughter, learning about her struggles, her strengths, and her aspirations. And Anami at long last had the family she had always dreamed of. She wasn't merely an employee anymore. She was a daughter, loved beyond words, proof that life does sometimes give back what it once so unfairly took away. So the next time you think fate has closed every door, remember Richard and Emily? Miracles really do happen, and when they do, they can change everything. If this story touched your heart, don't hesitate to share it, so you never know who else might be in need of a reminder that hope is never lost.